By the time you reach age 62, you've been working and putting money into the Social Security system for decades. It's only natural that you start thinking about collecting your benefit to get back what you've put in. But how does this work if you still continue to work while you are collecting Social Security benefits? There's a lot of confusion and even misinformation around this topic, all of which I'm going to clear up in today's video. I'm going to share with you everything you need to know if you're planning to work while also collecting Social Security benefits. Hey everybody, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you how to get the most out of life with your money. So people will ask, James, can I collect Social Security benefits and also work at the same time? Well, the short answer is yes, but there are a lot of caveats to that. So it's important that we understand those caveats as well as the nuances within them to make the best decision possible when it comes to our specific situation. The first thing that you need to be aware of if you're going to be working and collecting Social Security benefits is what's known as the earnings limit. The earnings limit for 2023 is $21,240. What that means, and this is only applicable if you're under your full retirement age, which is going to be between age 66 and 67, if you make more than the earnings limit, Social Security will start to withhold some of your benefits. So if you work and you earn less than $21,240, and you're also collecting Social Security and you're also under your full retirement age, there's no issue. You can earn your income and collect Social Security. But the second you start to earn more than that $21,240, Social Security will withhold $1 for every $2 that you earn above that threshold. Now they do pay it back in a way, and so be sure that you stay tuned through the end because I'm going to show you how exactly that works, but they'll start to withhold your benefit. Now the question that people naturally ask is, what counts as earnings? I have dividends, or I have a pension, or I have rental income. Does that count as earnings? No. Earnings for this calculation are only your wages. And when I say only your wages, I specifically mean you. So if you're married, for example, and your spouse is still working, let's say your spouse is earning $100,000 per year, but you're under full retirement age and you're collecting your benefit, their earnings do not come into play when it comes to calculating whether or not you are over the earnings limit. You could earn up to that $21,240 before benefits are collected or before benefits are withheld for surpassing the earnings limit. Your spouse and their income is not considered at all when it comes to you surpassing the earnings limit. So let's look at an actual example here. Let's assume that your Social Security benefit is supposed to be $1,500 per month, but you're earning $27,240 per month, and let's say you're age 62. Well, you're under full retirement age, and you've exceeded the earnings limit by $6,000. Well, what will Social Security do? They'll say you've exceeded it by $6,000, half of that because they withhold $1 for every $2 above that limit that you earn. So half of that is $3,000, which comes out to $250 per month. What they will do is instead of paying you your $1,500 per month benefit, you'll instead receive $1,250 per month. So you're still receiving Social Security, but a lesser amount. And once you reach a certain threshold of earnings, you've completely washed out any Social Security earnings because they're fully withheld because of your income. Now here's an important thing to note about the earnings limit. That's the earnings limit while you are below your full retirement age. In the year in which you reach full retirement age, your earnings limit increases. For 2023, that earnings limit is $56,520. So let's say your full retirement age is age 67. Well, if you earn below $56,520, you're in the clear. If you earn above that, then the same rule applies where for every $2 above that you earn, Social Security withholds $1 in benefits. Now here's an interesting challenge that arises with that. People say, okay, well James, let's assume that I turned 67 on July 1st of this year. And let's assume that I worked the first half of the year at a rate of $150,000 per year. What happens if I have those earnings from January until the end of June, then I collect Social Security starting in July, but my earnings go away after that? Technically, I would have earned $75,000 for that year because I worked half the year where my salary was $150,000. How does that work? Am I penalized for that earnings that I had prior to actually collecting Social Security? The answer is no. Thankfully, Social Security is only looking at the earnings that you earn after you're collecting benefits. So you could earn $1 million in the first 6 months of the year. It doesn't matter how much you earn. As soon as you start collecting, that's when they're really looking at how much have you earned after that point. So if you're looking at your plan, and this is very common by the way, and saying, I'm gonna start collecting Social Security at full retirement age, and I'm also going to retire at full retirement age. Well, the earnings that you had prior to your birthday or prior to your full retirement age, those don't count towards the earnings limit that you have once you begin collecting benefits. Now, if you start working part-time after retirement, or you decide maybe you want to go back to work unexpectedly after retirement, those earnings absolutely are subject to the earnings limit, but anything prior to collecting is not. Now, you may be asking, how on earth does Social Security know what I'm earning? Are they communicating with my employer every single pay period to say, hey, how much has James brought in so far, and do we need to start withholding benefits? No, they're not. But here's how the system works. When you go to collect Social Security, they're going to ask you a series of questions. And one of those questions is, what do you expect to earn this year? So for example, if you say, I expect to earn this year $33,240, then Social Security will come back and say, okay, great, James, that's $12,000 above the earnings limit, assuming I'm under the age of full retirement age. That's $6,000 of benefits we're going to withhold, so we're going to take out $500 per month from your benefit this year to match what we're expecting you to earn in income. So if you were expecting $2,000 per month in income, you'll actually get $1,500 per month in income, and that's what they're looking at. Now, at the end of each year, they'll actually get a wage report. Whether it's a W-2, whether it's some tax form, they'll actually see what you earned, and they'll see what was actually withheld in benefits. And then there's a true-up process, where if you earned more than you thought you would, they're gonna write you a letter. They're gonna say, James, we need to get paid back whatever the amount is, because you earned more than you said you would. And if you earned $4,000 more than you said you would, that means $2,000 of benefits should have been withheld, but they weren't withheld because you underreported technically when you went to collect. They will ask for that money back within 30 days. Now, there's some other options you have for paying it back, but be aware that you can't just get around the system by underreporting your wages, because they will come back and they'll ask for whatever benefits were paid out that shouldn't have been based upon what your earnings actually turned out to be. Now, what if you start collecting Social Security because you think you're gonna be fully retired, but then plans change? Maybe you get bored and decide to go back to work, or maybe you realize we need more income and you go back to work. What are your options at that point? Well, it depends upon how old you are and how long you've been collecting for. Option number one is what's called a withdrawal of benefits. Now, this is only available if you're under full retirement age and you've been collecting Social Security for 12 months or less. But what a withdrawal of benefits is you essentially begin collecting. Again, within the first 12 months, you decide you actually don't want to collect. You can go back to Social Security and say, I withdraw my benefit, but you have to pay back everything that you've collected to that point. So maybe, for example, I'm 62 and I start collecting $1,500 per month. 8 months in, I realize I'm kind of bored, I'm gonna go back to work, and I don't know what to do with the Social Security benefit because I'm gonna earn too much and it's all gonna be withheld. Well, I would withdraw my benefit, and as part of that, I would repay those 8 months. So if I was earning $1,500 per month, I would owe Social Security $12,000, and then it's effectively as if I never collected benefits. Whenever I do begin in the future, it's like that's my first time collecting. That withdrawal of benefits is only available if you do so in the first 12 months. So if, for example, now I'm 63 in a month and I have that new job opportunity come up and I started collecting at age 62, I no longer have that option. So make sure that if you're going to withdraw your benefit, you do so within the first 12 months. Now, the withdrawal of benefits, that's your option if you're under full retirement age. Now, if you're full retirement age or older, what you have the option of doing is something called a suspension of benefits. Unlike a withdrawal of benefits where you have to pay back Social Security everything that you've collected, with a suspension of benefits, you don't pay back anything. You simply stop collecting, and what you're doing is by not collecting, you're now getting what are called delayed retirement credits, where every year you aren't collecting your benefit after full retirement age, you get an 8% benefit in your Social Security benefit. So if you're 68 and you say, you know what, I'm gonna go back to work for a couple more years, or I just wanna stop collecting for a couple years, you could suspend your benefit. You don't owe Social Security anything. Whatever you've collected, but that benefit, whatever it might be, it now grows by 8% per year, plus whatever the cost of living adjustment is. And when you decide to collect again, now you're collecting a higher benefit. Suspension of benefits can only be done full retirement age or later, and again, you don't have to pay anything back. So those are your two options if you do decide you don't want to collect benefits anymore. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, there's a formula or there's a process by which if your earnings are withheld or if your benefits are withheld because you exceeded the earnings limit, you do ultimately get paid back. How does that work? This is one of those areas I talked about where there's a lot of confusion and even a lot of misinformation. Well, let's walk through an example to see how this works. Assume you're age 62 and you go to collect Social Security. You do it right when you turn 62. Well, let's assume that your benefit at that point is $1,200, but then you earn $26,000 per year. Well, we look at that $26,000 and we compare it to the earnings limit. And we say, okay, well, the earnings limit again is $21,240 because I'm under full retirement age, but I'm earning $26,000. What that means is I have an extra $4,760 that's above that earnings limit, and Social Security is going to withhold half of that from my benefit. Half of that is $2,380, which comes out to approximately $200 per month. So if I was supposed to receive $1,200, but Social Security is withholding $200 per month, they're going to pay me right about $1,000 per month from age 62 until full retirement age. I'm making the assumption that the earnings I have exceeds the earnings limit every single year from 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, all the way until 67. Well, if we look at those numbers, it works out to about the fact that I'm losing 2 months of benefits per year. I'm rounding here, but if I was supposed to receive $1,200 per month and Social Security withheld almost $2,400 per year because of my earnings limit, what they've done is they've effectively withheld 2 months per year of benefits. Now, those 2 months are spread out over the 12 months of income dollars that I actually received, but it's 2 months of benefit over the course of the year. Now, if I do that every single year from 62 to 67, that's effectively 10 months of benefits that I've lost because they've withheld them. Here's how this actually works when it comes time for Social Security to repay these benefits to me later on. When I hit full retirement age, so 67 in this example, Social Security is going to recalibrate my benefit. They're going to say, yes, James started at 62 and now he's 67. That's 60 months. If you just look at 12 months times 5 years, that's 60 months early that I collected my benefit. However, Social Security withheld the equivalent of 10 months of benefit because of the earnings limit. So even though I collected 60 months early, they're going to recalibrate my age 67 benefit or my full retirement age benefit as if I'd collected 50 months early. So that's what the process looks like, because I'm not collecting $1,200 per month now. Because if you remember, I said at age 62, my benefit's $1,200 per month. That benefit has been recalibrated to $1,272 per month based upon how the math would work out in this situation. So that $1,272, that's the benefit I would have received if I'd collected at age 62 in 10 months instead of collecting at age 62. So what you can start to see here is it's not necessarily that they're paying back your benefits, but as they're reducing your benefit by less. It's almost like a double negative. All those withholdings they had, because my earnings exceeded the earnings limit, those withholdings were essentially credited back to me by making the assumption or acting as if I waited longer to actually collect Social Security, which means my benefit would have been higher there on out. So again, it's less that they're paying me back, and it's more that I'm getting less of a reduction, and that kicks in at age 67, or at my full retirement age, I should say, is when that's recalibrated and you essentially get a higher benefit going forward. So that's an overview of how Social Security works if you're continuing to work, or if you plan to work at any point before your full retirement age. Now, if you really want to take a look at Social Security to say, how can I maximize this in my plan, be sure to check out this video right here. In this video, I walk you through 4 simple things you need to know to maximize your Social Security benefit, which could lead to huge increases in the income you receive over the course of your retirement. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.